Okay.
Okay, what are we talking about?
So, what we talked about on the phone yesterday. But I think we can cover a couple things real quick.
I think you like to, honestly, the problem is sometimes, I'm going to be honest, I think you like to call me up when you hear bad news and you are feeling bad, so you like to fucking bust a hole in my little bubble when you tell me things.
What bubble did you create?
A bubble where I like to be in my own little area and pretend like I like things. I like things, and then you coming in there.
What do you like? Like, give me an example.
No, what I'm talking about is like Game of Thrones. You coming in there and telling me that next season is the last season. I'm like, why would you do that to me? I didn't know.
Well, from what I heard, it's the last season, but they're going to cut it into 2 parts.
That's not the point.
So
the
it could
point
be.
is,
So that could be like 2
literally
short seasons.
But what I'm saying is that you literally busted my little bubble because we had a conversation about liking TV, and then you had to go and ruin it for me. I don't know why you do that. It's because you're unhappy. You have to bust my little happy bubble. Like sometimes, you know what? I love Lord of the Rings. It's so good. I like to watch it multiple times.
I don't know why you're still watching Lord of the Rings, but anyway, this is all beside the point. The point is, we haven't done Nerd Talk in a while because me personally, I've been pissed.
He hates everything.
And I don't think that's me being overly critical. I don't think that's me being a hipster, or I just think that's the content is awful.
No, well, okay.
It's uninspiring, and nothing moves me the way
that Nolan did.
That Nolan moves me.
Because you compare everything to Nolan.
But the whole thing is like I said, once you've had
Nolan,
a really
you
good,
can't go back.
No, once you've had like a really good meal, like I don't know what you like. What do you like?
I like all sorts of things.
Like,
you know what?
like pizza. I like pizza. Let's talk about food.
Keep myself
like, what's the best
open.
pizza you've ever had?
I honestly don't even know because I've had so many different
Napoli's.
types. All of them are that's a delicious one.
Okay, so you've had Napoli's. So like, once you've had the best pizza you've ever had, somebody tries to serve you up something that's not as good as Napoli's, or it's just, how could you expect to get hot and bothered about that when you've already had something that's amazing?
Okay, there have been situations.
Why do I have to concede
because
or like or
sometimes you're
give in or settle?
Because you're just like, because then I feel like you're just like the media being mad about Batman versus Superman.
No, don't compare me to the media, because I feel like that was a plot by Marvel. I think they all work for
Marvel.
Disney. Yeah, I think that's a plot. I think that's I think they all work for Disney.
Well, I hope not, because that would suck.
So anyway, the reason this conversation, I actually even go back to Civil War. Okay, listen. Okay, so what kind of got me going was after Civil War. Okay, now people are going to talk to me about Civil War, be like, "Oh my God, the story was amazing. They delved into things. The characters are fleshed out. This and all that." I'm like, okay, yes, to an extent, but was it really that good? Like, was it like an oh my God movie? No, it was a fun movie that I enjoyed, that I don't want my money back. Okay? But I'm like, it was just like next on Avengers. It's like a TV show to me. It's like, it's the same people doing the same things. There's a villain, there's a situation, they gotta fix it, they gotta overcome it, they gotta join together, they gotta work together, they're gonna have some arguments. The shit is boring to me. The only person that's kind of like interesting to me is Black Panther. Because he seemed to be kind of interesting as far as his character, and they may go somewhere with him. And what got me even more excited about Black Panther is in the next movie they're doing, Ryan Coogler's directing it, who did Fruitvale Station and Creed. So that dude makes movies.
Okay, hold on.
And I'm like, is Marvel going to let him make his movie?
Okay,
Probably
first of all,
not.
most big corporations do not allow the little person to really have the free range that they would like to have. So I do agree with you there. However, when it comes to Civil War. Okay, when it comes to Civil War, I will say this. My whole thing is I try to take it as it is. I don't know, you just can't go in, like, there's all these movies coming out, and there's just so many of them. So what you should do is honestly, like, go in
and settle.
Take each individual movie as its own thing. Just like I told you to do with Batman. The same thing with Civil War. I thought Civil War was like a fun movie. It's a little bit more, I thought, like, than Avengers. It's got As far as darkness goes, it's a little bit more serious, I guess. But I don't know. I think what you're asking for is, unfortunately, when you talk about, and I talked about this with one of my clients, you just, with Hollywood and everything, like, sometimes you just got to take it for what it is. And unfortunately, it's not always going to be what you want, but if you can take the good and positive things out of it, then that's really what matters. So, for example, visually, that's a really fun movie. They bring all the characters in and everything like that. I'm not saying you have to love it, but you can at least appreciate it for its little things. Because isn't that the thing, though? Like, when you go and watch a movie, now, if it's like a shit movie, like, for example, people might be mad. The Jungle Book. Didn't love that movie.
Hated that movie.
It was the little...
But visually, it was awesome. And that's my problem. One of my problems is if they focus so much on the eye candy, they're not making a story. They're not making a movie. But it looks... It's like Jupiter Ascending. Looks great.
It looked amazing.
Looked great.
It did look amazing.
But...
Okay, the plot... Well,
like,
actually,
what am I watching?
I did think the plot was kind of cool, that they basically harvest planets so they can suck the life out of people. But they could have made it better.
The idea was
cool.
Interesting.
Yes.
However,
it was not proper.
Executed.
Yes, it was poorly executed, but I do have to say, I actually was thinking about the plot. I was like, that's could have been a kind of a cool but fucked up movie.
I think a lot of people have good ideas, but they just don't see them through.
Well, it's kind of like, honestly, if we're talking about the Kardashians, I've been on a rant about them. The media, hold on, this is why. It does, listen. They are, like, mass producing everything. They have makeup out, they have fashion out, like, everybody sees them. They're everywhere. Same thing with Marvel and everything, and Batman starting to get there in comic books. It's like, it's not about the quality anymore, it's about the quantity. People see them and they're like, oh, I love this and that, and then you're just kind of like...
I don't even know if people know what they like or don't like.
They probably don't.
Does that make sense? Like, I think everybody's force-fed everything. Everybody's told what's cool. I'm like, do you even have an opinion? It was like with, like, my cousin was talking about Batman, Superman, and he, I think he works at a comic store.
Wait, who?
I'm not gonna say his name.
Oh, okay.
Because I haven't get his consent to use his name.
Oh, okay. Well then.
Or expose him like that. Yeah. So, so people were like, "Hey, what did you think about Batman, Superman?" And he was like, "I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna go watch it." And he saw it, and he like I put it on Facebook. He was like, "I saw it. Form your own opinion. Good night."
Yeah, but most of the time, like, that's the thing.
But hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
And so then I don't think he can keep his mouth shut because somebody like came and talked to him at his comic store.
Probably.
And I think they said something to the effect of, "So you didn't hate Batman, Superman? You're not a true nerd or something. Like, what's wrong with you?" And then he was like, something. Nerds are the new jocks.
Yeah, and they fucking bully like jocks too, apparently.
Like, fuck you. Like, come on. Like, when you start trying to have a collective opinion about something,
I do agree with that.
That's no different than what's cool and being a jock. It's the same thing. So that's what I was thinking about, saying about people. I don't think they know what they like. So when people talk to me about these Civil War movies and these Marvel movies, I'm like, I don't even think you have an opinion.
Well, the thing is that sometimes I think that you go in, I'm not saying that you're wrong about this, I think that you are right, but however, I feel like you are the exact opposite, like to the extreme, where I think that sometimes you personally go in and you think they're going to be awful, and I thought Civil War was like a decent
I never said it was a bad movie, but hold on. But my whole problem is I hate somebody trying to sell something to me like it's more than what it is. I'm like, no, if you were just to call it what it is, I would be fine.
Yeah, like,
but everybody acts like what? Everybody acts. No, stop! Don't go off on the Supernatural tangent.
Hold on,
tirade.
It's the same thing because Supernatural is what it is, and when Buffy originally came out, it's like if they know what it is.
You're saying Supernatural is what it is, and they're aware of who they are.
Yes, that's why they can go 10 seasons why it's so good. That's why.
Well, I think the people making the Marvel movies know what they're making. I don't question that. It's everybody else that acts like they're like the second coming of Christ movies.
Well, but
like they're so amazing. I'm like, really? They're that good? Are you shitting me? They are not that good.
Well,
it's people like, and this is the whole other thing. It's people who act like LeBron James is Michael Jordan. He is not, and he never will be.
No.
In a conversation. Moving
Okay.
on. He's not even Kobe Bryant.
No, I do agree with you on that one. He has no class at all. I am actually really disappointed in him and saying he's from Ohio, because the sad thing is Ohio has a lot of good things going for it, and then he sits there and he is just such a smug ass.
All right.
I'm sorry, it's true.
We can do it. They're talking about LeBron and the Cavs.
We're going to change the subject. We're going to talk about it.
So all I'm saying is, call it what it is. Okay? And quit acting like Marvel is the second coming of Christ.
Well, I
Okay.
think part of the reason why people do that is because it's something different. Like, we've never had comic book movies. It's kind of like social media. It's gone.
It's out of control.
Yes, I was literally getting ready to say it's spiraling out of control. And honestly, they can't help themselves. That's why there's like 4 movies coming up.
It's like vomit. It's just this comic book movie.
But
vomit.
eventually, what'll end up happening is it's going to burn out. It's a fad.
Well, this brings me to my next point. Is the reason I even got inspired to do another Nerd Talk was because the Justice League movie. Okay, the article I sent you. I don't know if you read the whole thing.
Yeah, you ruined it for me.
But I'm sorry.
This is what I'm talking about, you guys. He sends things, he finds things himself, and he's all upset about it.
It's all over my Facebook feed, my Twitter, and my Instagrams.
It is in my Instagrams. It is actually.
So, if you haven't heard, spoilers. It's crazy that we have spoilers for the Justice League movie. It doesn't come out until next, I think, November.
That is kind of sad.
That's ridiculous. So the I don't know who greenlighted this or who okayed this, but they let the media come in on the set, okay, for Justice League, and they let them look around at things. They let them talk to the cast and crew.
Well, of course, they're trying to get, because apparently Batman versus Superman, everyone hated it.
You know. So they let everybody on the set, and they were like, you know what, we're not going to be secretive. We're going to spill everything, let everybody know everything we're doing, and they let them talk about it. So these reporters came back and they were saying it was a complete 180 of Batman v Superman, which means they were like, there was laughter on set, there was comedy in the scenes, they were joking, like even the rooms were lit differently, they were brighter colors.
Okay, hold on. This is one thing I have to say about that. If you actually watch the Justice League, there is banter between them. It doesn't need to be strictly Nolan. That's what makes Nolan so different. Hold on, because I think that this is where we differ. You want it so bad to be Nolan, where I'm like, if it has its own personality, it depends on the quality. That's okay. Even if it is lighter than what the original Batman versus Superman has been, you know what? That might be okay, because during the cartoon is lighter. The comic book that I'm reading is a little bit lighter. They joke and stuff like that, so that's okay.
But so this is my point with that. My beef with that is this. If that was the tone they had the whole time, I would be fine with that. It's the fact that they appear to be jumping all over the place. They don't have an identity.
What if they transition into that, though?
If they transition and it makes sense, that's fine. But I don't think that's the case. You're giving them too much credit, like what I was trying to say about Wonder Woman.
Okay, fine.
You're giving them too much credit.
Fine.
Where you're like,
We'll see.
They're probably not doing anything intelligent. They're just putting
a hot lady
up there.
Well,
you're giving them too much credit.
They still put a hot lady.
Okay, but I'll say you're giving them too much credit. So what I'm saying is, if that was the tone the whole time, I would be fine with that, because you saw Man of Steel.
Yes.
You saw Batman vs Superman, and the problem with Batman vs Superman is I haven't seen the director's cut yet, the extended version of it. That's over 3 hours or something.
Jesus.
They're already getting reviews of it, and they're saying it's a much more put together story. It makes sense. There's more plot.
Oh, that sucks.
And so it sounds to me like they went in and cut the movie up to make it a shorter running time, because Marvel movies are under 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Who cares if it's under 2 hours?
Warner Brothers.
Oh.
Okay.
Bless
So they're chasing Marvel. It appears that they're trying to make it more like a Marvel movie.
You know what, though? That's a little bit...
That makes me so angry.
No, but it's not... You can't just blame it on, Batman versus Superman. That's a little bit, that's kind of the director's fault and the producers.
If that's what happened, that's Warner Brothers' fault for messing up Zack Snyder's movie.
No, well, okay.
Because he works for them. He's a high-paid
I know,
employee.
but then I just figured out that you said that there was other extended stuff that he
already shot.
Yes, that's why.
And put together, and Ben Affleck wrote things, and they shot things.
I retract my last statement.
And then they go in there and they chop it up to make it a shorter movie. So, like, audiences are like, well, we can't have it over 20 minutes because that's not what Marvel does, and they have a lot of success. And so now they're chasing Marvel. So I'm like, you're never going to catch Marvel. Marvel's gone. Marvel is Walmart. They're everywhere.
That is.
Okay.
Actually,
you're not.
Marvel is in Walmart. It is in
They're
Walmart.
everywhere.
Sometimes it actually makes me sad when you just say Marvel's Walmart. It's like, well, I was just even going to say, like, reading comic books and stuff like that. I'm not saying it was like its own little, like, club or something like that, but at the same time it is. Like, and now that it's like this mass producing thing, like, you have people that keep forming these opinions about the only thing that they'll read, like the only thing that they'll watch the movies. Yeah, and it's kind of disappointing because I'm like, but you're not. Like,
you don't know Iron Man, you don't know Captain America, you don't know Bruce
You
Banner.
know them
they don't know any of what's going on.
Yeah, you know them just from the movies, but you haven't even, you don't, like, comic books, oh, that's still totally not cool. Like, oh, I'm not going to read a comic book. Or if you read it, it's because it's the cool thing. It's like you don't actually read it because you want to.
It's like why Batman's so popular right now. Like, how long have you been a Batman fan?
I do.
Like, get out of here. So,
it makes me sad.
So that's my issue with that is if they had a lighter tone the whole time, that's the way they went, I'd be fine with that. But it looks like they're chasing Marvel.
I think
and I'm like, if I wanted to see a Marvel movie, I'd go see a Marvel movie. Well, I don't want all the movies to be happy and fun and play. I want variety. You don't want to eat the same thing every day of the week.
Well, that's true.
You want different stuff in your diet.
Well, I'm a little bit different with you. I would be curious to see what happens with this. Now,
I mean, I'm clearly going to go see it.
Well,
see
obviously
what they
you're going to go see it, but sometimes, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do agree with you that it feels like they're trying to do a machine. It's a machine. It's not its own entity.
Yeah, it's not this information, but everything's driven by money and financials. And so that's what I'm saying to you. I'm like, maybe the comic book movie already died, and I just haven't been, I guess admitting it.
It probably has.
But I think based on what I'm hearing about Justice League, I think they're dead already. I think the comic movie is on the down slope. I think they're done. I'm like, and I said that's why I'm gonna get all my comic book, fun, all that stuff. Now I'm going back to comic books and
TV shows
and my cartoons.
Why is that person
fishing?
Oh, that seems a really gross place to fish.
Probably is.
Ugh.
So that's where I'm gonna get my geek.
I mean, I'm gonna continue to do the same.
And like movies, I'll just go there for like
visually.
Let's
just
see
think
what
about
they're
it visually.
doing.
No. You should go to the movies visually because you have to admit it's not like who knows? Maybe you'll get surprised once, but visually they are getting kind of awesome.
I just don't buy it. Like I don't buy it. Like I saw Ben Affleck on the show here was talking about Batman and maybe he was being genuine. I don't know. He was talking about Frank Miller's Dark Knight. And he was talking about it, and I'm like, I wonder if he really likes it.
I don't believe anybody in Hollywood.
Like, I wonder if, does he really believe that? I don't know. So it just makes me not want to be involved.
Well, that's why I said earlier that he likes to bust my bubble. It's because I think he wants me to, when he tells me these things, it actually makes me really sad when he's like, hey, I'm going to share this article. I'm like, God damn it. Don't share that article with me.
And I heard they reshot things on Suicide Squad to make it lighter.
I hope not. Yeah, but they seem genuinely dude, they did get all matching tattoos. That might be different.
We'll see.
Okay. See, he ruins my hopes and dreams, you guys. Just what? Oh, Jason's Deli's gone. That's why.
So we'll see.
Yep.
So, I guess the whole point of this nerd talk was for me to complain.
And voice his anger.
I haven't been inspired, but they've inspired me to be angry.
Well,
it's not the kind of inspiration I want.
And bust everyone else's bubble. Just want to let you guys know. He likes to be a dream crusher instead of a dream.
I'm doing that?
Instead of a
You're
dream.
You're going to find out eventually.
Hold on.
With the movie
And I like to be in my little bubble. He's instead of a dream catcher, he's a dream crusher.
It's the reason you go back and watch Lord of the Rings all the goddamn time.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Because
I just made a
it's
hilarious
good.
joke. I just made a hilarious. It is good.
First of all,
but I just made
hilarious is not a word.
It is, and I just said you're a dream catcher instead, or a dream crusher instead of a dream catcher. I'm not gonna lie, that's hilarious.
Are we having one of those moments? Are we having one of those moments again?
I'm just saying that I just made a funny joke. Fine, you guys. This was...
I'm going back to not believing in anything.
Fine. Like I said, he's a dream crusher instead of
Nothing
catcher.
moves me, nothing inspires me, and I think when people settle and say it's amazing, I think they're full of shit.
Okay, I'm not
Finished here.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't believe in anything anymore. I'll be very happy if Nolan's wife lets him come back and make another Batman movie or something.
Yeah, but then
I would
sometimes
shit my
when you put
pants.
so much pressure on someone, they don't ever perform.
You think Nolan's gonna fold under pressure?
No, but I just was saying that as an example.
He's like
of
Kobe.
something.
Okay, so TV is where it's at.
It is these days.
Game of Thrones is amazing.
Game of Thrones.
I am a little confused about Arya's storyline.
I'm not.
We'll see where it goes.
Dude, she's gonna go fuck some shit up. That was aggressive.
How long is it going to take her to get there?
Probably I think a long time.
I don't know. Episode 9 of Game of Thrones is pretty fun.
Oh my god, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the season finale.
Holy shit.
Game of Thrones. I don't think anything's going to happen. I think they're going to give us a really, really big cliffhanger. And
Probably.
we won't get any resolutions.
You're right. It's probably gonna happen like that,
It's
and
like
then
it's going to be a
honestly,
bunch of nonsense.
I'm gonna say yes. It looks crazy, or it looks okay.
It looks fine.
Okay, this is why people don't like that response when someone says it looks fine. You know what I'm gonna buy? Is maybe a new movie. A new great movie. Maybe Lord of the Rings.
You already have Lord of the Rings.
I got the uncut version.
I can't get the camera out. God damn it. Jesus Christ. Did you get that?